It all started on a night that felt charged with anticipation, a night that would change everything. My name is Lily, and at 26, I find myself sharing a cramped but cozy apartment with my college friend, Matthew. The rent is high, and splitting costs is the practical choice, but lately, it feels like something deeper is brewing between us. I haven't been in a relationship for 3 years, and it's been a year since I've even had a fleeting encounter. I often joke that I could use a little excitement in my life, but the truth is, I've been craving more than just casual flings. Living with Matthew, I can't help but notice the way he looks at me, those lingering glances that send shivers down my spine and make my heart race. He's 26, handsome and charming, yet he's currently dating someone else. That fact twists in my mind like a knife, especially because I feel his eyes on me when he thinks I'm not looking. It's intoxicating and frustrating at the same time. I want to explore this connection, but it feels like a dangerous game. What do you think about my feelings for Matthew? Is it crazy to want something more? Leave a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more of my story. I hope you enjoy this journey as much as I do. One evening, we decided to have a movie night. I prepared popcorn and settled onto the couch, trying to act nonchalant, but my heart raced as Matthew joined me. The film flickered on the screen, but I could barely focus. Instead, I found myself acutely aware of his presence, the way his shoulder brushed against mine, igniting sparks of excitement. Halfway through the movie, I glanced over at him. There he was, absorbed in the film, but I caught him looking at me out of the corner of my eye. When our gazes locked, the air thickened, and I felt a rush of heat creeping up my cheeks. I wanted to lean in, to close the gap, but hesitation gripped me. Just then, his phone buzzed again, drawing his attention away. It was another message from his girlfriend. I could see the tension in his jaw as he read it, and my heart sank. The thought of him being with someone else twisted in my stomach, but it also fueled my desire. "Are you okay?" I asked, trying to sound casual. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Yeah, she's been a bit needy lately." My heart raced at the implication. Did he want to be with her, or was he looking for a way out? The thought of him being unhappy stirred something deep inside me, a mix of longing and determination. That night, we ended up staying up late, talking about everything and nothing. The walls we'd built around our feelings began to crumble, revealing the truth we'd both been avoiding. There was a moment when he leaned closer to me, our faces just inches apart. My breath caught in my throat, and I could feel the heat radiating between us. But before I could act on my impulse, the moment shattered. He pulled back, a look of confusion on his face. "I shouldn't be feeling this way," he murmured, almost to himself. I wanted to scream that it was okay to feel, okay to explore this undeniable connection. But instead, I nodded, feeling a mix of frustration and desire. I realized I had to make a choice. Either I would risk it all for him, or I would pull away before things got too complicated. As the days passed, the tension grew thicker. I found myself daydreaming about what it would be like to kiss him, to feel his body against mine. One afternoon, while we were both at home, I suggested we cook dinner together. It was a casual idea, but I felt a flicker of excitement at the thought of sharing that intimate space with him. We chopped vegetables and stirred sauces, laughter filling the air. But every time our hands brushed against each other, a jolt of electricity shot through me. I felt bold and reckless, caught up in the moment. As we sat down to eat, the atmosphere shifted again. Our knees touched beneath the table, and I could see the conflict in his eyes. "Lily," he began, his voice low and serious. "We need to talk about what's going on between us." The weight of those words hung in the air, and I knew we were at a crossroads. Would we finally confront our feelings, or would we let fear dictate our choices? "Lily," Matthew said, his voice steady but tinged with uncertainty. "We need to talk about what's going on between us." My heart raced, caught between anticipation and fear. I nodded, urging him to continue, the tension between us palpable. The flickering candlelight cast shadows across his face, making him look more handsome than ever. "I don't know how to say this," he started, running a hand through his hair, a nervous habit of his. "But ever since we moved in together, things have changed for me. I can't help but notice the way you look at me, and the way I look at you." His honesty struck me like lightning. I felt a rush of warmth flood my cheeks, and I swallowed hard, trying to find my voice. "I feel it too, Matthew. It's been impossible to ignore." The admission hung in the air, heavy and charged. I watched as a flicker of hope ignited in his eyes. "I care about you, Lily. More than I should, especially with my girlfriend in the picture." Hearing him say it out loud sent a thrill through me. We've been friends for so long. I never wanted to ruin that, but I can't pretend I don't want more. He leaned closer, the distance between us vanishing as he searched my eyes for confirmation. "What if we explored this? What if we tried to see where it leads?" My breath caught in my throat. I had imagined this moment 100 times, yet the reality felt even more intense. "What about your girlfriend?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "I've been feeling conflicted for a while now. She's great, but I haven't felt this way about anyone in years. I don't want to hurt her, but I can't deny what we have." As those words hung between us, I felt a surge of courage. "Then we should take a chance. Let's see where this leads us, together." He smiled, a genuine, warm smile that lit up his face. Together. In that moment, everything shifted. The tension that had been building for weeks finally broke, and I couldn't help but lean in. Our lips met, tentative at first, but quickly deepening into something more passionate. The warmth of his body against mine sent shivers down my spine, and I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. We pulled back, breathless, and I could see the desire mirrored in his eyes. "What now?" he asked, a hint of mischief playing at the corners of his mouth. "No," I said, a smile spreading across my face. "We enjoy this new chapter. Together." That evening turned into a whirlwind of laughter, shared stories, and lingering touches. We spent hours on the couch, wrapped in each other's arms, exploring the depths of our newfound connection. The world outside faded away, leaving just the two of us in our cozy sanctuary. As the night wore on, we moved to the bedroom. We spent the night wrapped in each other's warmth. I felt a sense of freedom I hadn't experienced in so long, as if we were finally breaking free from the restraints of our past. But as dawn approached, reality began to seep in. I knew our connection was powerful, but it came with complications. The thought of his girlfriend loomed over us, reminding me that our path wouldn't be without challenges. As I drifted off to sleep, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something tumultuous and beautiful. The thrill of the unknown awaited us, and I was ready to embrace it, all of it. The morning light streamed through the window, casting a soft glow over the room. I stirred awake, nestled against Matthew's warm body. For a moment, everything felt perfect, like a dream I never wanted to end. But as I opened my eyes and the memory of the night before flooded back, reality crashed over me like a wave. Matthew was still asleep, his face relaxed and peaceful. I couldn't help but smile at the sight of him, but the weight of our situation settled heavily on my chest. We had crossed a line, one that could lead to happiness or heartbreak. As I carefully slipped out of bed, I felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. I needed to prepare for what came next. The thrill of our connection was intoxicating, but I couldn't ignore the fact that he was still in a relationship. The thought gnawed at me as I made coffee in the kitchen, my mind racing. When Matthew finally stirred, he joined me in the kitchen, a sleepy smile on his face that made my heart flutter. "Good morning," he said, leaning over to steal a sip of my coffee. "Good morning," I replied, trying to keep my tone light. "Last night was incredible." He nodded, his expression serious now. "It really was. But we need to talk about what this means." I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the conversation. "You're still with her, Matthew. We can't just pretend that doesn't matter." He ran a hand through his hair, his brow furrowing. "I know. But I haven't been happy in that relationship for a while. I've been feeling trapped. With you, it's different. I feel alive." His words resonated with me, but the reality of the situation hung in the air like an uninvited guest. "What are you going to do?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "I need to figure things out. I can't keep leading her on if I have feelings for you. I don't want to hurt her, but I also can't ignore what we have." The dilemma weighed heavily on both of us. The thought of him breaking up with his girlfriend was daunting, yet the idea of losing this connection was even worse. I wanted to support him, but I also feared the fallout of our choices. As the day unfolded, we navigated our new dynamic. Every touch felt electric, yet the tension of our situation loomed large. We spent the afternoon exploring the city, laughing and enjoying each other's company as if the world outside didn't exist. But beneath the surface, the conversation we needed to have lingered in the air. That evening, as we returned home, I noticed Matthew's expression had shifted. He seemed pensive, lost in thought. "Lily, I think I need to talk to her," he said, breaking the silence as we stood in the living room. The gravity of his words hit me like a punch to the gut. "Are you sure? It could get messy. I have to be honest with her." "It's not fair to either of us to keep pretending," he replied, determination in his voice. I nodded, understanding the weight of his decision. "I'll support you, whatever you choose. Just know that it might change everything between us." He stepped closer, his eyes searching mine. "I know. But I'm willing to take that risk if it means being with you." As he spoke, I felt a rush of hope mixed with fear. We were standing on the precipice of something profound, and the leap into the unknown was both exhilarating and terrifying. The next day, Matthew set up a time to meet with his girlfriend. I could see the anxiety etched on his face as he prepared for the conversation. I wanted to be there for him, but I also knew this was something he had to face alone. When he returned later that evening, he looked both relieved and drained. "I did it," he said, his voice shaky but resolute. "I told her everything." My heart raced. How did she take it? "She was upset, of course," he replied, running a hand through his hair. "But I had to be honest. I couldn't keep lying to her or to myself." I nodded, my pulse quickening. "I want this, Matthew. I want you." With that, he closed the distance between us, pulling me into a heated kiss that ignited a fire inside me. His hands roamed my back, drawing me closer until our bodies pressed together, the warmth enveloping us. We stumbled toward the bed, laughter mixing with soft gasps as we fell onto the sheets. The world around us faded, leaving only the two of us, lost in each other. I could feel the heat radiating between us, our hearts pounding in unison. As the night unfolded, we explored each other with a mix of urgency and tenderness. Every touch sent shivers through me, igniting a passion I had longed for. The boundaries between friendship and desire dissolving completely. It was an entire night of intimacy. We didn't sleep at all. In that moment, nothing else mattered. The world around us faded away as we surrendered to the connection that had been waiting to bloom. It was a night of discovery, of passion, and of vulnerability. We lay entwined, our bodies still humming with the aftermath of our shared intimacy. I knew that while the road ahead might be rocky, we were ready to face it together. Our journey had just begun, and I couldn't wait to see where it would lead us, two hearts intertwined, no longer afraid to embrace the love that had finally been set free.